The new way to reach us is
WDBFradio.com. WDBFradio.com.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Well, a very beautiful and gorgeous morning here in the southeastern portion of Florida. My goodness. Good morning to all of you out there. Thank you for joining us. It is the Fish Florida Show. I am your host, Riscala, and this morning I have with me Captain Hook as my co-host, as my regular co-host, Pam Worth, one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida. She is actually out on the water today. I hope to hear from her today while she's out there, can kind of give us a lowdown on what's going on. And Captain Hook is on the West Coast, so here on the East Coast, we're looking good. What's it looking like over there, sir?
It's looking pretty good. It's starting off really good. We got the big power boats over here racing today over here in Clearwater. So it's a good day for everybody to get out and enjoy the beach and see some real fast race boats.
I'm looking at the radar here across the state, and we've got, again, just a very few showers, but it is typically just blank out there. And as I was out there this morning, I get the joy of getting up. Those of you who have pets are going to be able to relate to this. I get the joy of being sniffed in the morning and being told that I need to go out or you're going to be cleaning up a mess. So I was out there at about 6:45 watching the sun come up. It was gorgeous. There was not a cloud in the sky. Just one of those days where you wake up and you go, oh my goodness, wow. So if you don't have anything planned today, I would suggest that you get out there and at least enjoy the sunshine while we have it, because we are still in the cycle of the afternoons. You know, we get heated up, and during the process of the day, the afternoon heat begins to rise from the surface, and then we get the boomers, and I call them the afternoon boomers. And sometimes for those who are not who are not used to that kind of stuff, they think it's the end of the world sometimes, because it does seem like it. It gets dark at, it'll be 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll get dark, and the next thing you know, it's just booming right and left, and it's coming down. It doesn't come down cats and dogs, it comes down mooses and cows, and proceeds from there. So if you're not doing anything, get out there and do something today, because it will be a beautiful day. Got another great show lined up for you today. We got oh my goodness, we've got a variety of guests coming on. We have Robert Warner, of course. Robert is a regular now. I enjoy so much having him on. He's always got something interesting to hear. Robert is with the Florida Fisherman Magazine. I have Peter Camarano. Peter has been a guest on once or twice before. Peter makes lures, and he's been around the fishing industry for quite some time, and he has a fishing report for us and probably going to share some of his knowledge about using lures and that nature. Carolyn Stash will be coming on. Carolyn is with Atlas Tracks. I enjoy having Carolyn on because there was a time in my life when I had a car that I didn't realize everybody else wanted, and that car got stolen 3 times in 1 year. I'm not exaggerating. 3 times in 1 year, this vehicle was stolen. And I wish to goodness I had something. This was many, many, many years ago. I wish I had something like Atlas Tracks back then where I could find my vehicle literally as soon as I knew it was gone. I could go out and track it down within 10 feet. That's amazing to me. I think it's 10 feet. And then we have Captain Neil Holland. I have not had Captain Neil Holland on before. Captain Neil is with several. He represents several organizations. He's going to explain it to you. I believe one of them is Ocean Aid 360. And the reason I wanted Captain Neil on is you guys know how I feel about conservation. You guys know how I feel about our water. This man is part of a program that's going to reseed the estuaries, and he's going to correct me if I'm wrong, but they're going to pick up trash out of the water, old lobster traps, old crab traps, things like that, and they're going to work for clean water. And, again, when we promote something where everybody wins, I think that is, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say that is something that you want to support, and I completely and 100% support. It's what I love about Liza Fitzgerald. She is, I can't think of the outfit she's with. Do you remember what outfit she's with, Captain Hook? Liza's with, oh my goodness.
She's with the clean water.
In a tournament, in a fishing tournament. And the reason I bring her up is they had a category that I had never seen or heard of in my life. Can you imagine going out and being in a fishing tournament? Now, it's a very small amount that you invest to get in the tournament or to become a member even of this. I'll find out what it is in a minute. But then you're out there fishing, enjoying yourself. You might catch one of these fish and win yourself a car and a boat, for God's sake. Or you don't catch any fish, but you pick up a bunch of trash. They put your name in so that you can still win something. See, that's the kind of stuff I love. No matter what, you have an option for everybody else to benefit. And those are the kind of things I enjoy. So, again, this is why I wanted Captain Neil on, because he is going to, him and the people that he's associated with are going to be working on cleaning up the bay on the West Coast. I don't know so much about the East Coast, but on the West Coast. And then we'll have Jason LaBarros. Jason is with the MetalEdge.com. They do some really cool stuff with metal and with regard to fishing as well. So we'll let him explain that to you, but you can find him at the MetalEdge.com. So we've got an entire show lined up, some really great guests. I always try to have interesting information for people. I tell people I am not a professional at this. I'm not looking to focus on the professional fishermen. You guys already know what's going on. I'm looking to get to the moms and the dads that want to take the kids fishing, want to keep the family together. To me, family is number one, and this is one really great way for us to do that. To go out and enjoy it as a family, have an experience. Even if you don't catch anything, you're there as a family, sharing an experience all at the same time. And to me, that's what makes America great. Families. We were built on the backs of families. So, anyway, any way I can promote that, I will. You guys know how I feel about veterans. I'm a former veteran. There's a lot of us that have come back, and we're not doing too good. So anything I can do to support veterans, anything that you can do, I would ask you as well to support veterans. Just be careful who you donate money to, because there are some people out there who, they're less than honorable. Let me put it to you that way. I found out a lot of crazy stuff as I worked on things like that. So in a few minutes, we'll have Robert on with us. And by the way, we have a new way you can listen to us, actually. I want to thank the L&M Network. The L&M Network is given us the privilege of being on their network and reaching all of their people as well. L&M is the network that I'm on Saturday nights doing a political show. And the new way to reach us, if you don't, as long as you have all the time in the world on your cell phone, if you have unlimited calling, or if you have a landline, the new way to reach us is by phone. Believe it or not, you can dial a number. The number is 701-719-9704. 701-719-9704. You can tell your friends, those of who are technologically challenged and have a hard time finding us online, they can call the number, and it doesn't cost anything as long as they have cell time. Calling from a cell phone. Of course, if you're calling from a landline, it doesn't matter. 701-719-9704. You can listen to us on the phone now. Still working on a couple of other networks in the background. Hopefully we will come to terms with all of that sometime, I believe, within the next 60 days. I just have a lot of other things happening at the same time that have to be dealt with, so it's kind of difficult to kind of juggle everything and balance everything. But we're always happy to have you and to have you listen with us every Sunday morning. That's not going to change anytime soon that I'm aware of. Is that going to change anytime soon, Dr. Hook?
Not that I know
of. So we'll be here on Sunday mornings from 8 to 10 a.m. And I think we have the one and only Robert on. Do we have Robert on?
Yes, we do.
And happy Sunday, everybody.
Hey there.
Hello.
Good morning, guys. What's up?
Good morning, Robert. How are you, sir?
All good.
Looking at the car, and it's nice and, well, almost clean, pretty clean.
Starting out that way, anyway.
What's that? Mm-hmm. What's that?
The weather's all good. Radar looks good.
Oh, the weather's beautiful right this minute. I'm sitting on my back porch. There's no breeze. I'm assuming the seas are beautiful. Everybody get out there. Just get up and get out there.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about fishing this last week here?
Well, fishing's been great, all up and down the coast. There's still, amazingly enough, there's still dolphin or mahi being caught out there. I'm shocked this late in the year that they're still out there, but they're still out there. There's lots of tuna being caught. There's lots of nice blackfins being caught. Mm. And again, we had this full moon this last week, and the snapper bite is always crazy on the full moon. So
I don't know. I won't speak for anybody else, but I love fishing on the full moon at night. There's just something that is, I can't put my fingers on it, but it is so mesmerizing to be on the water, especially if it's calm. You're on the water, it's like a puddle. You might be, I don't know, a couple of miles offshore fishing on a reef or something, but the reflection of the moon on the water and the light that's coming from the moon, and just sitting on that water with a gentle rock, I don't, my goodness, I'm
it's
going to
pretty
sleep
nice
right
out there. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff when you get like that. If you can get nice calm weather and a full moon, it's a beautiful time to be out there. That's for sure. So
it is absolutely amazing to be out there on a full, for me, on a full moon. It's just a very, very enjoyable thing. Any tournaments coming up that you're aware of?
None that I'm aware of. A little late in the season for tournaments, or a little early for the others. The sailfish tournaments will start in probably late November, coming down the coast. Oh, by the way, the mullet run came through. Anybody who hasn't been out there looking, the mullet got down to about Delray yesterday.
Wow.
Got reports down there. So the mullet run is in effect. But the sailfish tournaments will start in late November. They're in our area. They're in December, and then they just slowly move down the coast. But there's, I believe, a kingfish tournament going on over on the West Coast. I'm not sure about that, but someone mentioned that to me the other day. Mm-hmm. But the big tournaments all start. They'll be starting up again in November. This is sort of a slack time in the year for tournaments, but.
Mm-hmm. When does the next edition of the Florida Fisherman magazine come out?
Just came out. Just came out on the 20th. Next one will be out October 20th. There's some good stuff in there. We've got on the cover is Sarah Salt. I don't know anybody knows Sarah. Sarah's from Panama, and she has a platform that she fishes from. She had her boyfriend make her a platform. Have you ever seen those where they go up the pole and sit in the chair and
it's kind of
and fish from the chair?
Right.
They take them out in the flats. They put up a pole. The chair's got a chair at the top.
Yeah, it's kind of.
She does platform fishing, and it's on the cover. You'll see it. Yeah, it's on the cover.
Wait a minute.
Go to flfishmag.com and look at the cover.
Wait a minute. Wait, I want to picture this. Are you telling me they take somebody out and they put a pole in the water and then they just sit on and there's a chair on the top of the pole and they sit on this pole and that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's wicked.
It's pretty cool.
I don't know what, if I was in a boat driving along and I saw that and there wasn't any boat or anything around, I'd turn around and go back. I'm hallucinating. I gotta leave.
Yep.
That would be, that's crazy. So, so wait a minute. I'm serious now. They take a pole and I've never heard of this. They take a pole, they put it in the water.
Platform fishing. Yep. It's I don't know. They normally do it in the flats or shallow water, so the pole's probably 10, 12 feet high.
Uh-huh.
It's got a little ladder onto it and a platform at the top with a seat on it, and you fish from there.
Yeah.
And there's no boat.
No.
It's like a deer stand out in the middle of the water.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it is. It's a deer stand in the middle of the water.
But the only problem is you got to have somebody take you out there. You got to. I hope they remember to come back and get you. You know.
But I'm thinking to myself, my God.
Well, no, you walk it out. You don't. They don't leave you out there. Now, on a much more unpleasant note, I don't know if you saw yesterday, but they closed the area around Juno Beach and the Jupiter Inlet. People were having problems breathing.
Oh no!
From something in the water, so they closed Jupiter Inlet and the area surrounding Jupiter Inlet yesterday. The beaches. They're suspecting that the red tide may have made it to the East Coast, but they're not sure. But all they know is people were having serious issues breathing out there on the beach, so they cleared the beach and cleared all the people off, and they're investigating it today, and we'll probably have an answer Monday or Tuesday as to what it is, but not looking good. So.
Well, the answer that, I don't want to sound cynical, but the answer that we're going to get is what the answer that they want to give us. Because here's what I believe.
Sure.
Absolutely. And again, I thank you for bringing my attention to this. I did a lot of reading into this, a lot of research, not hours. I'll say at least 5 or 6 hours of research into this subject. And this is what I found. There's a possibility, I didn't even know this was going on in Florida, that we are fracking in Florida. For the life of me, that just goes against everything that I could possibly imagine. Fracking in Florida is just, you don't go to the bathroom where you sleep. Anyway, so we're fracking in Florida. One of these wells is just north of Lake Okeechobee, 3,000 feet deep. And the people who have been investigating that, the articles that I'm reading, tell that they believe that the well is leaking into Lake Okeechobee. And these chemicals are being carried from the lake and down through the drainage canals. And this is what's making people so sick. It's not just red tide. It's these toxic chemicals mixed in. And they're claiming that it's red tide so they can hide the truth. The truth is this godforsaken stuff that they inject into the earth to get whatever it is that they want back out of it is so nasty that they won't even reveal the ingredients of what it is that they're injecting in the earth. This is absolutely unacceptable. And they're injecting it just north of Lake Okeechobee, 3,000 feet down. Now they're proposing, I didn't want to get on the subject, but this is really important, people. I can't keep my mouth shut. I would feel like I was doing you a disservice. The politicians want to propose a way of disposing of all of this sewage and all of this down through the aquifer. If anybody is listening and understands what I am telling you, would you like me to bake you a cake and put a teaspoon of poop in it? Because that's what you're telling you. Everything is okay. We're just going to put a teaspoon in. It's not acceptable. We can't just sit idly by and allow this to happen. Anyway, let's move on because this really upsets me. This.
Well, it does me too. And the one thing I want to encourage everybody is no matter who wins these elections, we have to stay on top of these people to make sure we get the results we want.
Absolutely.
And it's a daily, weekly, monthly thing. You can't forget about it once the election's over.
Thank you. Because that's exactly how I feel. Sending a letter one time or sending an email or making one phone call, just forget it. Don't even bother.
That won't work.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got to be it's the theory of the squeaky wheel gets the oil. We have got to be squeaky wheel. And listen, I said earlier, before the subject came up, when there is something that where everybody benefits, you're going to see me support that 100%. Now, everybody would benefit from clean water. I hope that everybody would agree with me on that.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure they would. And it can become a much bigger problem than it is if they don't do something now.
They're going
to be a bigger problem.
They're going to have to do something about it this time because they've gotten to the point of no return here.
Yeah, it's going to be a bigger problem because first of all, Robert, they're still draining, right? Am I correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Oh, they were still running water off a week ago. So
we have canals down in Cape Coral, I think it is. Imagine living. You pay a premium to live on a canal, okay? Because why do you want to live on a canal? Because it's nice to go out back and look at the water. And if you want to fish, you can fish, but you maybe got a boat. You can just hop in your boat and take off. Those people that pay a premium to live on those canals, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of dead fish. You know what dead fish smell like in just a couple of days? And there's thousands of them. And the city or the county, I'm not one of the two, has said, well, we spent all the money that we have to clean the canals up. Imagine living there, paying a premium to live there, and then having to deal with that the odor and the the toxicity level is so bad that some of them can't even leave their home.
Yeah, how'd you like to build a restaurant for $2 million and have a lot of people come and try to eat during that, too? So.
Well, yeah. All the good restaurants over on the West Coast for a long period of time have been shut down, especially in Anna Maria Island. They shut everything down there.
Yeah, I know.
It is one of those things. It's one of those things.
On a better note, it's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It is. It is a gorgeous day.
It's a beautiful day. Get out on the water, preferably blue parts, not green parts. And
stay away from the green.
Yeah.
Stay away from the green water and get out there.
All right. Well,
great
again, friends, I don't mean that, lay on this subject over and over. We did a whole show about this and how serious this is. But really it is. It's something that it would be irresponsible of me as someone who reaches out to people not to say something. So, Robert, thank you.
I agree. And unfortunately, I've had to use your show to make people aware of that. But I'm glad that you guys have been so receptive about it. And, it's a problem. I hope we fix it soon. Stay on top of your politicians. And go to flfishmag.com for more information.
There you go.
Thank you, Robert. Greatly appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time to call in. Robert Warner with Florida Fisherman Magazine. You can find him online. We are up against a break. Please don't go away.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer, and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
We can make each other happy. I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Well, a very beautiful and gorgeous good morning to you out there, and thank you for taking the time to tune in and listen. We are back. It is the Fish Florida Show. Just got off with Robert Warner, who has reported that there are, believe it or not, there's still mahi-mahi out there hitting, which I think is kind of unusual, but hey, if I had the opportunity, I'd be out there doing it, because one of my favorites is, as we call them, dolphin. Not the kind that jump up out of the water that we know as bottlenose dolphin, not that kind of dolphin. They're called mahi-mahi, and it's a different kind of, it's a fish, it's not a mammal. I tell people about dolphin, and they kind of look at me sometimes like, how dare you? You know, that's flipper, shame on you. Anyway, right? Did that ever happen to you?
Yes, absolutely. Especially if you're talking to somebody from the north, and you mention, well, we're having dolphin for dinner. What? You know?
Oh, man, I can't believe you did that. Oh, Lord. So, one of the guests that I've had on before is back with me this morning. His name is Peter Camarano. I hope I pronounced that right. Peter is, of course, a couple of things that I am so proud of. First of all, he's a veteran, so he's someone that's been there, done that, like I have. And second of all, he uses his hands to make a product. People who can, I grew up with a friend of mine who used to be able to take wood, and to this day he still does this. You can draw him out something on a piece of paper, and then he'll take that and make it from that piece of paper. He'll make it with his hands, whatever that might be. Whether it's a cabinet, he makes custom cabinets. Whether it's a cabinet, whatever it is, he can make it out of wood. It's amazing. I've always had a deep respect for people who can do that. Peter is one of them. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning. How you doing?
We are doing good, sir.
Like here with you guys, we got a beautiful full day, and yes, dolphin are still hitting, not as numbers as we've had seen here, and they're still on the small side. But what is interesting and what's happening now is we are in the midst of the mullet run.
Yeah.
And if you take a walk on the beach right about daybreak, in many cases, you can find them schooling up and seeing tarpon and snook just skying on them. If you haven't seen this, it really is something nice to see. So, so we're in the midst of our fall sessions starting to show up.
You thinking around 6:30 in the morning?
Yeah, right about that. If you take a walk, and I've got friends that will go ahead and will fish those runs, and they have been from the beach. Have been able to take nice snook and also some tarpon. So a little bit different than our offshore bag of what's there now. Offshore, we're getting ready to get into the wahoo season. We're starting to see some of them start to turn up. King mackerel are still running pretty strong. Last weekend, we had the X Generation KDW for Forgotten Soldiers, and we had some really nice kings that went ahead and were put on the scale. Not in the 50-pound range, but solid mid to high 30s. So we still got a pretty good bag out there. The only problem I'm hearing is that weeds all over the place, and if you're trolling weed lines looking for dolphin and so on, you know how frustrating that can be. You seem to spend more time clearing lines than you do actually fishing. But other than that, we're having a pretty good run this fall.
I know that's a pretty awesome spectacle to see. When it's been many years since I've seen it. When those mullet run, I lived further south when this happened. I was down in the Miami area, and when you see these mullet literally by the thousands running, and the predators running in and out of the schools, jump in the water, it is really it's an awesome thing. I'm curious. Did you say you were fishing the run this last week or shortly?
No, not myself, but I've got clients of mine that
I see.
that were, and so coming back in conversation and so on, and just kind of let you know what's going on.
I know that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
I was going to say, I know that you make handmade lures. This is one of the things I respect about you. Taking your hands and making something with your hands. That's something that we hardly hear about anymore. Everything is mass produced, and we lose that skill. If you follow what I'm saying, I don't even think they have shop or home ec. I know that you're probably near my age, and I know Captain Hook is. We had shop and home ec growing up in school. Some people listening don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We had different kinds of shop in school. We had shop that I did anyway. I had electronic shop. I had mechanical shop. I had wood shop. I took them all. I love that kind of stuff. I love being able to work with my hands. I do it to this day. I fix laser printers. That's what I do full time. But the girls had home ec. The girls were shown how to do different things around the house. We don't have anything like that. The idea of skillmanship, for some reason, over the past couple of decades or so, has kind of fallen by the wayside. The push has been for kids to go to college, and a lot of times they end up going to college, racking up a giant debt. Then they get out of college, and whatever it is that they want to do, they're not able to pay this loan that they've taken out back in a proper way, and so it lingers over them for many, many years. When someone who's skilled could have probably made a lot more money, not have to deal with that. Just these are ideas that I think about. So, working with your hands and having a skill, to me, is something very, very vital. A lot of people today rely on manufacturing. And it has its place. I'm not complaining about manufacturing. I did that for 11 years as well. So it has its place, but what my point is that we don't have people with skillmanship like we did many years ago, and I really think we should bring that back. One of the ways to do that is to help support this man. So I wanted to ask you about the lures. You mentioned that the lures were intended to be trolling kind of lures, right?
Exactly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this may be a silly question, but what would happen if you took one of them and you went out, for example, out on the shore, and you threw it out on shore and reeled it in? Would it still have the same effect, do you think?
Perhaps the lighter ones would, okay, if you could keep it moving fast enough. But also, they have been used for vertical jigging. With the skirt that's on there. You do get a blossoming or parachuting effect as you go ahead, bring it up, it springs down, release it, and it will, because of the weight of the head, it's a little erratic on the drop. The weight could come, based on current and so on, could come straight down through, and that gives you a perfect parachute, or it could fall off to one side, being a little bit erratic. But I have seen it used for vertical jigging, but primarily from trolling. We run from standard speeds of that 6-8 knots, and we also have a line of lures that will go for a high-speed wahoo. So we try to span the spectrum on that, and I appreciate the compliment about working with your hands, and I know people also that would consider true artists and craftsmen. Me, I'd kind of consider myself just a good hobbyist, but I have seen the work that that's coming out now. The lures have been a continuing work in progress, evolution, and what's coming out right now, I look at it. I am more pleased than I ever have with what we're doing now. The handmade. Let me clarify something. It's the heads on the lure are not rosin. They're old-fashioned cast lead. Now, I have that done by a company in Chicago because I'm not wanting to get involved with the health hazards of dealing with lead on a continuing basis.
Yeah.
They've been powder-coated and set the eyes and send it to me. So I had nothing to do with the manufacturing of the head, but it is produced here in the United States. We then go ahead, and the other, the skirting material is from a company in the Midwest. The tubes, the storage tubes, come from a company in the Northeast in New England. So everything comes up, and so coming together, I'll go ahead and take my designs or what I'd like it to look like, and then assemble it. And so it's more of the creativity, imagination, if you will, on how you combine things, the material and the heads. But now, when you talk about a man working with wood, now that is a true artist. And you're talking about shop. My brother is retired from the New Jersey school system, and his last 5 years he spent in administration. But prior to that, he was in shop, and his idea was he wanted the kids that nobody else wanted. If you're going to drop out of school, they put you in shop. And I remember growing up in woodwork, you could always tell the woodworking shop instructor. He was usually missing one or two fingers.
That's so true. That is so true.
That is, yeah.
Mr. Feinstein, I think his name was my shop teacher, and the end of one of his thumbs was cut off. The very tip of his thumb had been cut off.
Yep, exactly.
Can you imagine today, this is a little off subject, but those of you who have been around my generation, you're going to get a kick out of this. Could you imagine today kids being exposed to, bandsaws, table saws, lathes, wooden lathes that spin and how many RPM? Yeah. I could see lawsuit. Oh my gosh. Just crazy. But this is what we've lost. We've lost that ability to teach a skill of some sort.
Yeah.
You were talking about the income ability. If you take a good trade, air conditioning, plumber, finish carpenter, or outboard marine mechanic. Yeah. Those are skills that transfer anywhere you want to go. Yeah. And if you, especially around here, and see the at the shops, the lines of boats ready to be worked on, motorcycles, to be able to work, to be a mechanic, you want to use. And to be good at it, can afford an extremely good living. Unfortunately, more than school teachers or sociologists or fine arts majors, most of the liberal arts. But as far as putting food on the table and provide a living for your family, you're right. The trades, and when we talk about fishing, what we're talking about is somebody that has trade. Talk to a commercial fisherman and see what he does as far as technique, process, and so on. He is a craftsman, and they work very hard. But those that do apply themselves and are good at it make a tremendous living. Let me backtrack. Make a good living. But they absolutely earn every penny of it. So even within all right, you've had Mike Simcoe on this program.
Yeah, I heard him on.
All right, Mike is a craftsman when it comes to fish and kite flying and so on. So I look at people like Mike as just that, a chef, formally trained and so on, all right? People have said, well, you could...
You know what else, Peter, about Mike? Just using Mike as an example. What I like about Mike is not only he always has something interesting. I always thought kite fishing was a silly thing. To be honest with you, this how embarrassed I'm embarrassed to say that. But after I've learned what I've learned, I ought to slap myself. Anyway, what I like about Mike is he comes on, he shares what he's done, his experiences, but he also shares his knowledge. When you share your knowledge with other people, that to me is one of the most precious things that you can do. Time and knowledge. Time is something that you spend, you can never get back. When you spend time with somebody, that's why I'm so appreciative of the people who tune in every morning on Sunday morning from 8 to 10. I am so appreciative of you because you're spending time with me. You're not going to get that time back, and I value that, and that is very, very important to me. So that's why I'm so grateful to. And you hear me say repeatedly, it is an honor and a privilege. Some people think that I'm just saying that. I mean that. It is an honor and a privilege because you're spending your time with me. So anyway. Peter, I greatly appreciate it, and I greatly appreciate you, my friend, because you is another one that shares knowledge with people. You have a skill, and you know how to do certain things, and you don't keep that quote secret like some. I have to keep this place. I have to do this secretly. I have to do that kind of thing. Is to me needs to go by the wayside. I think that the more we share knowledge with each other, the better off. Again, we're back to what benefits everybody. Really is what it boils down to.
Our community, the fishing community, is relatively small. Word gets around real quick about those who want to participate and share, and those who do not. I've been fortunate to be around people that have helped me along the way and still do today. But I thank you very much, for your kind words.
Well, thank you, Peter.
It is me.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it, my friend. I'm up against the break. I apologize. I don't mean to cut you off, but I've got to take a break. Go ahead. Last parting words. Go ahead.
You have a great day. Tell Pam I said hello, and look forward to talking to you all again.
Thank you so much, Peter. That's Peter Camarano. You can find him at jccamm.fishing.com. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip. You can find your tide reports, buoy reports, get a fishing license, and even find someone to go fishing with. Plus great products and services from all our media partners. And oh yeah, you can get the Fish Florida Show on the app. Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern here on the WDBF radio networks. So download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip and tune in.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within. Over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket. Hit ignition. And then
nothing. Ha 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 ha. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
It ripped my arm off. It broke my right femur.
I took such a hard blow to the head that my retina was torn apart.
Say a prayer for peace.
I'm Trace Atkins. I want to tell you about these true American heroes and how you can show your thanks by helping them through Wounded Warrior Project.
They've reached out to us as a family, and they never forgot about us.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Many of these service members suffer traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
They helped me basically put my life back together.
If it wasn't for Wounded Warrior Project, I would be a statistic right now. I would have been one of those soldiers who came home and committed suicide.
I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan.
Your gift today of $19 a month can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our wounded service members. Call or go online with a pledge and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket. Make that call now.
Say a prayer for peace.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Well, good morning to you. If you're just tuning in, it is the Fish Florida Show, an honor and a privilege to be with you this morning. We've had a couple of very interesting guests on. I always enjoy people like Peter Camarano, who always has something very interesting and a lot of information to share with people. That's always so. I appreciate that always so much. Anyway, if you have a boat, if you have a car, if you have something that is of value to you, and if you are aware of what's happening to us today, there are people out there who believe that if they can have access to whatever it is that you have, that you've worked hard to and you've earned through your sweat of your brow, if they feel like they want it, they'll take it. And in some cases, we're left with a big void in our lives. In other cases, we find whatever it is that they take, whether it's a boat, a car, whatever that might be, but by the time we find it, it's pretty much demolished. And so you still suffer with the aspect of having something that you've worked for and someone comes along and basically destroys it or steals it from you one way or another. I'm the kind of guy that likes to fight back when it comes to bullying people. And this, to me, this is a form of bullying, taking something from someone that doesn't belong to them. And I got bullied when I was a kid, and I eventually got karma on them, and it was a very good feeling. So when I hear of ways where people can protect themselves and fight back against these people, these bullies, if you will, I'm always supportive of that. And my next guest is someone who does exactly that. It's Carolyn. She's with Atlas Tracks, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about Atlas Tracks. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning, everybody. It's gorgeous out today.
I know.
It is.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you just had my friend Peter on, so I'll be probably fishing with some of his lures this weekend at the Blue Water Bay, so it's nice to hear his voice in the morning. But I'm glad you had me on today, because as you know, boat thefts and thefts of vehicles and things are at the all-time high. And it's actually gotten to the point where I was approached by a West Coast Florida police department. They actually want to purchase a group of trackers from me and hand them out to boats that they think are going to be good targets for theft. and actually have bait boats that are out in particular areas.
Wow.
Because certain areas have so many thefts of boats that are not even being recovered. So even the police departments are trying to get involved in this a little bit to do some sting operations, which I found very interesting.
Would you agree that stealing is a form of bullying? Maybe I was over-exaggerating, but do you feel like that? Is it a form of bullying to you?
I think so. I think it's, these folks get together and decide, okay, who's the bravest, who's going to take something of somebody that worked so hard to get it. You know, how far can we get? How, are we going to get caught in this guy's driveway? So I think so. And, I'll tell you, even home invasions, things like that. I mean, once somebody's in your yard or on your stuff, you really don't want it back. It's a terrible situation.
To me anyway. Captain Hook, you think it's a form of bullying?
Yeah, that, and it's also, it feels like you've been violated. It feels like, that's what, especially when somebody steals something from you. I mean, I had a motorcycle that I just loved, and I woke up one morning and it was gone. And
it really is a sick feeling. As a child, I had to deal with this. I had for my 13th or 14th birthday, I one of the two. My dad bought me a Firestone Road Glider, I think it was the name of it. A really cool bike, I thought at the time. It had a headlight on it, all built into it and all that. And had it for maybe a month, and somebody stole it from me, and I was and it was locked. And I was heartbroken. I made sure it was locked wherever I went because it was something that other kids wanted. And but whatever, they took it, and that was such a horrible feeling. And then later on in life, I mean, I had many things, but later on in life, another thing that comes to mind is this car I had mentioned earlier today. I had a car, didn't realize everybody else wanted the car as well. 3 times it was stolen.
A few times. I know they wanted a few times.
3 times in 1 year.
Because you could put a tracking device. I mean, a lot of folks have home security systems, and I hear, I have a camera in the backyard. If somebody takes it, I'll see them. But I keep explaining, once it leaves your property, you have no idea where it's going. It doesn't matter what it is, a boat, a jet ski, it's gone. So don't trust in the cameras, and they'll come up and spray paint the camera and take something right out of your driveway. So having trackers on things that mean a lot to you is a really important thing. And as a matter of fact, I had a customer call me yesterday. He needed a tracker right away, was in my neighborhood. I went over his house and helped him install it in 30 seconds on a brand new center console because he couldn't get insurance on the boat without a tracker. So we were able to accommodate, same day, same morning, if it's something that is in the neighborhood. Or we can shift, or I've met people in Home Depot parking lots. I mean, it's that important to get the tracker on something before it's stolen.
Yeah, what I found out in the last few weeks is that a lot of the new car places, if the finance company, they will not let the car go unless it has a tracker built into it. That way, in case they ever want to repossess it or whatever, that they can track the car. So there's another whole idea for your trackers there, Carolyn. Yeah.
Oh, sure, Captain Hook. And, even aircraft, the same thing, repo for aircraft, RV sales. I mean, any of these things that, if people are owed money on them, they can at least recover them in a certain period of time. And we've had some cases like that. So, and just the safety factor. I don't know if I was on your show. Did I tell you all about an EPIRB that went off on a brand new boat and the Coast Guard was ready to go get them? Yeah. Have I shared that story?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead. Say it again.
Yeah, I mean, there's the safety factor of it.
Yeah, say it again, Carolyn, in case anybody missed it.
Yeah, tell that story again.
So here, in a short story, what happened was a customer took delivery of a brand new boat and went out and fished a tournament on the West Coast, a military tournament. The EPIRB went off at 7:30 in the morning, and the Coast Guard called the wife, and she did not know we even existed yet at that point as equipment on her boat. She called the boat builder, who had thought maybe they were going super fast and crash the boat, or go out early in the morning at a fishing tournament. Who knows? What is the boat taking on water? So I was able to get the wife's information, reach out to her, get permission to call the Coast Guard. And the tracks that we were showing were clearly back and forth 7-mile-an-hour trolling tracks. So I was able to send maps to the Coast Guard by email, show them that the boat was not in a stationary position or duress, and they did not have to send a helicopter up. Just by chance, people called me, knew the tracker was on a brand new boat, and knew we could track it. But look at all that benefit that would be, that the Coast Guard would have had to send a helicopter up out of St. Petersburg to get to Naples. Huge safety factor. The wife and the gentleman didn't even know the EPIRB went off until he got back to the docks for weigh-in. People were hailing him on the radio. He didn't have on the Coast Guard channel, but a good reason to have the Coast Guard channel on. So nobody was even aware on the vessel 80 miles offshore that his EPIRB had gone off 5 hours earlier.
Wow. You know, there's another aspect to this that we didn't speak about either. I brought this up a couple of times. You have parents that have kids with a small skiff. They're going to go fishing in the bay, and they're on a 15, 16-foot whaler or something like that. Carolyn has, I call them pocket size. I may be wrong, but pocket size trackers. They can put them in their pocket. They're waterproof. You have the peace of mind. You know, they were supposed to be back at 3:30. It's 4 o'clock. They're not back yet. You make a phone call. You go online. You can see what's going on. Time is of the essence. When something like this happens, if you think that something has gone awry, the sooner that you can get help, the more the odds go way up that everybody comes out of this thing in good health. So that's an area that is available as well.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, and people say, I'm going to go jump on the jet ski. I'll be back in, 10 minutes without a wallet, without a phone, without anything. The jet skis, and this has happened, have broken down to us, our family, without any trackers on them, like goofballs. And this thing was drifting out in the Keys, and to the point where one of the family members jumped overboard and started swimming the jet ski back to who knows what dock he was going to get to. But he had no phone, no radio, no VHF, no tracker, and he was gone for 4 hours, just for a quick ride.
Wow. Good point.
So, yeah, you never know. So these are so versatile, the trackers. And, again, at General Aviation, we had a gentleman who was flying his helicopter in Michigan, and thank God he had a tracker, but he, went down in his backyard and was able to get help, and his family saw the altitude go down and were able to drive over to the house and check on him. So there's some good aspects. And, of course, the fishing tournament guys can go back and look at past fishing spots. They forget to mark some fish out fishing, and all the tournaments are coming up in the next couple of weeks. They can go back and look at the replay in the comfort of air conditioning and not sitting outside in the heat at the GPS with the sun glare on the screen. So there's a whole bunch of reasons to get the tracker other than just staff. And I appreciate you having me on, Riscali, to share that with your folks.
Oh, you're welcome. Technology to me is something that really caught me very early on in my life. I had a neighbor of mine, I guess people would refer to him nowadays as a nerd or a geek. I really wasn't technologically interested at all until he introduced this little box that I could talk into, and he'd be down at the other end of the block, and he could hear me, and then he could talk to me back. It was the first time I'd ever been exposed to walkie-talkies, and I fell in love with, from that point forward. Electronics and I were like buddies, especially particularly in radio. Growing up, I started with CB, then went into ham. When I was in the Air Force, there was a place on base that was literally called the Radio Shack, not the stores that you go shopping at. A shack full of radio equipment. We would go there and we would talk all around the planet. I used to get such a kick out of that. So technology for me has always been something very interesting in my life, something that has been kind of secondary. And when I see something like this, that benefits, again, as I've said all along, this benefits everybody. Peace of mind. How much are you willing to invest for peace of mind? You can, am I right, Carolyn, you can find whatever it is within 10 feet?
Oh, yeah, within 10 feet, within 10 minutes of messaging. So if something gets stolen, right away when it's moved, they start sending you emails, and then every 10 minutes it'll send you a latitude and longitude, whether it be on a road, you can see the map, you can see the canal view. So that's real good information. Even our alarm systems, before even somebody steals it, you can have the 60-foot cable wrap and a real loud siren that's attached to whatever the asset might be too. So as they're taking it out of your driveway, maybe you have a chance to jump up or get outside, or if it's an RV yard, and hopefully just alert somebody that somebody's playing, with a door sensor or a cable wrap. So there's a lot of good ways, and everything's really less than $1,000. Trackers are $450, and that's real low cost. A full alarm system to save something from being stolen can be self-installed. We made it real easy for customers to handle their own installations. So that way you can get it on your asset as quick as possible.
For those out there who think this can't happen to me, let me assure you that it can happen to you, because I thought the same thing many years ago. I thought after my car got stolen one time, okay, well, I'm fixing this so they can't do that. I put an alarm on my, again, this is back before all this technology was available. I would have been more than willing to pay whatever it was to be able to know where my car is. The sooner you get your equipment back, let me rephrase that. The sooner you get your equipment back, the more the odds are that the equipment will be in the shape that it was when they took it. The longer that they have it, the more the odds go up that damage is going to be done to it, and it's not going to be a pretty picture by the time you get to it. If you don't have some way of finding your equipment, whatever that might be, relatively quick, it's not going to be a good experience. And in my life's experience, that's what I've experienced. If I can't find whatever it is that they've taken, whether it's a car, a jet ski, a boat, whatever that might be, quick enough, by the time I get to it, if I can get to it, it's not going to be a pretty picture.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, we definitely encourage people to go see great stories on our Facebook page, which is just Atlas Tracks. Again, to our website, atlastracks.com. If anyone wants to reach out to me and ask me any questions, or say I had this kind of asset, can you help me? Feel free to call me on my cell phone number, and I'm happy to give that number out, which is 954-465-3743. I think you'll find I'm very close to 24/7 as I can be. So, anyone can dial me if they have any questions. They need a rental tracker because they're doing a first trip to the Bahamas and they're nervous. Just reach out to me. We'll help them.
Thanks, Carolyn. Greatly appreciate it. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer, and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Hey, this is Captain Hook for Statewide Pest Control Services. They've been serving the west coast of Florida since 1987. Statewide does it all. Pest control, termites, lawns, mosquitoes, tent fumigations, etc. This announcement is from their mold division. Since Hurricane Charlie in 2004, all their personnel are certified in mold and moisture control. Their two-step services are guaranteed to get you back in your home quicker and in most cases paid by your insurance company. Give them a call at 877-488-7378. That's Statewide Pest Control Services for all your pest and mold control needs, serving Florida from Pasco to Lee counties. Statewide Pest Control Services, 877-488-7378. 877-488-7378. That's 877-488-7378.
You're listening to WDBFradio.com, a tune-in station.
WDBFradio.com. 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 I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is the Fish Florida Show. An honor and privilege to be with you this morning. If you've missed any part of the show, you can always listen in at 3 p.m. We do replay the show at 3 p.m. And if you're one of those that just can't get to sleep in the morning and you're very bored, you can tune in at 4 o'clock in the morning. And a big thank you to the LNM Network, because with the LNM Network we have the option that you can listen to the show actually by just dialing a phone number. You can dial 701-719-9704, and you can get us that way as well, trying to make it as easy as possible for everyone to be able to access to the show. So if you've been listening this morning, you've heard quite a bit of interesting information. My next guest has even more interesting information. I'm not sure exactly what he's with, but I'm going to allow him to do that. His name is Captain Neil Holland. I know that one of the main reasons I asked him to come on is he mentioned that he does something and is in the process of doing something, and that is cleaning up the water. And you guys know how I feel about that. So good morning to you, Captain Neil. Welcome to the Fish Florida Show. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to call in.
Good morning, Riscala. My pleasure. Glad to be here, and greetings from St. Petersburg.
Captain Hook is right there with you, I believe.
Yes, sir. We're right here in northern end, St. Pete, Clearwater. Yep.
Okay, Captain Hook. I'm down toward the St. Pete Pier site, downtown St. Petersburg.
Oh, I got
nice
you.
to talk to you.
All righty.
Well, yeah. Captain Neil, if you would tell us a little bit about what it is that I have been mentioning.
Okay, Riscala. So I'm a lifelong resident of St. Petersburg and the Tampa Bay area, and grew up here fishing like a maniac from about the time I could walk, I guess, like so many of us guys that grew up here, and women too, of course. And within the last couple of years, I started kind of learning more about the marine debris issues that face Tampa Bay, and seeing how people were sharing some of these experiences, coming across different pieces of marine debris out in the environment, and posting those things on social media, and kind of, it's a chance through those kinds of channels for all of us to become more informed. And I thought to myself, is there something that we could do about this? And so I began doing my research, and found out that, lo and behold, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, they have a couple of small grant programs where community-based organizations can request a little bit of funding support to conduct some kind of innovative program to remove that marine debris from local waters. And so I placed a phone call over to the Coastal Conservation Association, to Tampa Bay Watch, and to folks that I knew here locally, and we started putting our heads together. And well, we designed a tournament event series. It's 6 events, and it's going to be held between the end of October of this year and the end of March of 2019. And we're going to be kind of organizing this like a fishing tournament, like so many of us are familiar with, only for that little half-day period on each of those 6 event days. We're going to be turning our attention toward marine debris, and specifically toward abandoned and derelict crab traps that have been left in the environment, to remove those and to stop the impact that those kind of traps have on our local watershed as they continue ghost fishing out there without being attended to.
Captain Neal,
and,
let me ask what I'm thinking. Excuse me for cutting you off, but how does somebody know if it's an abandoned trap?
That's a great question. The FWC has a short litmus test that you can utilize as you're kind of assessing a trap that you come upon in the environment. Mm-hmm. And it needs some very specific criteria in order to be considered a derelict or abandoned trap and be removed. And that's because the state officials are very serious about protecting people's livelihoods when it comes to trap fisheries and that kind of thing. They don't want you touching it if it's not if it doesn't meet the criteria, of course.
And the guys who lay the traps are very serious too. They don't play any games. If you go out there pulling a trap and it's not supposed to be pulled, you're gonna, and they happen to see you, you're not gonna be happy with the response you're gonna get. So okay, go ahead.
I couldn't agree with you more. And we're gonna have on our event days, we're gonna have collaboration and participation from the commercial fishing sector and from FWC. And we're going to be out there with all of our signage and everything so that folks recognize us when we're on the water and know that we're trying to provide a good community service here. So, Riscala, I think that what I would mention beyond that is that we are operating this event through a nonprofit that we started together here in St. Petersburg called Ocean Aid 360. And our website that has more information about us and the event and kind of what we're trying to accomplish is oceanaid360.org. But, these events, they're special because it's going to be prize, for top performers who go out and they're able to locate some traps and bring them back, and other forms of marine debris as well. We're going to have great prizes for people who come out and participate, and we're working on putting all of that together right now. But it should be a really exciting event with free refreshments and a grand marshal who's going to give a talk about fishing in our area, or a Bucks player, that kind of thing.
So, you guys who've been listening to me, anything where everybody benefits, and I don't think you need a rocket scientist to explain to you that this is a benefit for everybody. Everybody's going to win. And to have the opportunity to go out on your, whatever it is, your skiff, your boat, your yacht, and be able to pick stuff up out there, and then have the opportunity to actually be rewarded for that. Okay, you're going to be rewarded for it, even if you're not rewarded for it financially. You're going to be rewarded for it anyway, because you will know that you have done whatever part it is to help keep the waters clean. I think this is phenomenal. This is what I like about Captain Hook. Is it CC of Florida? Is that right? Is that the ones?
CCA. Yeah.
CCA.
Right.
I think Captain Neal, CCA. Are you associated with them somehow?
Mm.
Very much so, yeah. They're our main project partner. So CCA is helping us get the word out about this event by putting out email blasts to all of their Tampa Bay-based membership, and helping us through whatever social media channels that they can leverage to let people know that this event exists, and it's a great opportunity to come out and do something special for our watershed. Especially after the tough year that we've all had here.
Captain Neal, what were the criteria for finding an abandoned trap?
Well, I don't want to get too deep into the legality, the legal verbiage of it right now, but basically, when you come across a trap in our local environment and it's missing its buoy,
right,
and it's sitting untended with no buoy, no signifier that somebody could come back to and recognize it.
Right.
That would be the most obvious criteria that you're looking at a derelict trap. And I want to be very clear to say that that we had to obtain very specialized permits from FWC to be able to carry out these removals. So if somebody is not operating with us on an event day during the Ghost Trap Rodeo event series, if they're not with us and don't have a copy of the permit that we've received to do this work, then and they're just out on their own on a Sunday evening or something, and they spot one of these, they're by law they are supposed to report it. Not they should report it to the FWC, but not pull it, because unfortunately, just the legalities of such, and nobody wants to get in trouble for pulling out somebody else's livelihood, like I said. And so, the FWC stuff that they be reported but not pulled out.
Yeah, that's
events like.
That's what I was getting at, was basically if you find a trap without a buoy, it's not tended to, and then nobody knows to even go pull it back up again. But I guess the best thing would be mark it on your GPS and keep track of it, and then report it to the FWC. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's right. And, I think a lot of people, like myself, when I started looking at this issue, I didn't really realize the impact that ghost fishing and ghost traps can have on a watershed. But the truth is they're believed to last out there in the environment for an average of about 5 years. And during that 5-year period that they're out there fishing until they degrade to the point that they're no longer capable of fishing, during those first 5 years while they're out in the environment, they trap all kinds of species, many of which are bycatch that are not crabs. I mean, the FWC and other organizations like Tampa Bay Watch, they've found turtles in the traps, they've found raccoons in the traps, they've all kinds of stuff, sawfish stuck in the traps, and all kinds of small fish species from around our area. Wow. So it's an important thing, and we're just trying to see if we can do something about it and come together as a community,
I think it's phenomenal, because anything where, again, it's just repetitive, but anything where everybody wins, I don't think it requires a rocket scientist to say, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I agree. So, and for serious anglers, I think this is a great opportunity, because events like this in the past, I feel like the folks who have been targeted to come out and participate in events like this oftentimes are not the serious anglers who know the watershed best. And so this event, the Ghost Trap Rodeo event series, is really geared towards, it's family friendly and everyone is welcome. And we are so thankful for any hands that want to come out and participate with us. But we're excited to really engage the shallow water fishing community in a new way, and to try to bring them out through a model that they're familiar with, like the sport fishing tournaments and everything. So, we're using that same fishing tournament model and trying to engage our local anglers to come out and pull those traps that they've probably seen while they're out fishing for sea trout drifting across the grass flats, or snook fishing up in the mangroves, or chasing tarpon across the beaches. We see these traps in our environment all the time, but we typically don't stop to pull them out because we don't want to get in trouble or whatever. Well, here's a chance to do it with the permit in place and all the official paperwork done for you. All you got to do is come on out and participate with us, and you can pull these traps, and lo and behold, become eligible for some great prizes in the process.
Captain Neal, if someone wants to get involved with this, how do they do that?
The best way to do that is to navigate to our website, oceanaid360.org. Right there, as soon as the page loads, you'll find a logo for the Ghost Trap Rodeo event, which is a really cool illustration made by some friends of ours here locally in St. Pete. It's a crab with a cowboy hat on, with his claws up in the attack position. And by simply clicking on that logo, you'll be redirected to the Ghost Trap Rodeo event page on our website. It shows the event dates, and it has a real simple button there that says register. You just click on that, and you can put your name, the number of team members that you think you might be bringing along with you that day, okay if it changes, but we just like to have an estimate so we can make sure we have food for everyone and T-shirts and everything. And that's it. And you click confirm at the bottom, and it just gives us an idea of who's going to be out to join us that day so that we can have provisions enough for everyone.
That is so cool. I love it. Is this the first time you're doing this?
It's the first time, Riscala. Yeah, it's the first time. I'll tell you, it's worth mentioning that part of my career for the last 10 years has been in the management of federal grants. So humanitarian projects and projects all around the country and overseas. And so through that experience, I'm familiar with how the government contracting and grant making process works. And I would like to say it was that work experience that allowed me to find and to kind of win this government grant, myself and my little team here with OceanAid 360, to win this government grant from NOAA to bring this funding here to our Tampa Bay area and try to make a dent in marine debris in Tampa Bay. Because the truth is that this grant opportunity that's available from NOAA, the money can go anywhere around the country. It could go to Hawaii, Alaska, Michigan, California, but instead it came right here to Tampa Bay, and they've provided us with a government grant of about $90,000 to carry out this event series and try to make it a really special time for people and to make a dent in the challenges that face Tampa Bay specifically. So it's a beautiful opportunity, and I'm so hopeful that our community is going to turn out to participate and make it a success, because it doesn't matter how much money one has or anything like that. You can't do it without the volunteers and the people coming together. That's really the key to success for the event.
Well, I want to say congratulations on getting the grant. I believe it is for an absolutely excellent, noble cause. I want to thank you for taking the time to call in. I'm absolutely out of time. Before we go, I want to mention that it is Captain Neil Holland. You can catch him at oceanaid360.org. Please go there. Help everybody. Everybody wins in this thing. Everybody wins, and I can't express how important that is. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Captain Neil.
Thanks, Riscala. Thanks, Captain Hook.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip. You can find your tide reports, buoy reports, get a fishing license, and even find someone to go fishing with. Plus great products and services from all our media partners. And oh yeah, you can get the Fish Florida Show on the app. Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern here on the WDBF radio networks. So download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip and tune in.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then
nothing. Ha 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 ha. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
It ripped my arm off. It broke my right femur.
I took such a hard blow to the head that my retina was torn apart.
Say a prayer for peace.
I'm Trace Atkins. I want to tell you about these true American heroes and how you can show your thanks by helping them through Wounded Warrior Project.
They've reached out to us as a family, and they never forgot about us.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Many of these service members suffer traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
They helped me basically put my life back together.
If it wasn't for Wounded Warrior Project, I would be a statistic right now. I would have been one of those soldiers who came home and committed suicide.
I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan.
Your gift today of $19 a month can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our wounded service members. Call or go online with a pledge and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket. Make that call now.
Say a prayer for peace.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right, we are back. It is the Fish Florida Show. Thank you so much for taking time to allow us to share with you this show. It is really, truly, to me, it is an honor and a privilege to have you here. Normally I have Pam Worth, who's one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida, as my co-host. It is such a pleasure to have her with me. She's out there somewhere on the water. I texted her just before the show, have not heard back. So she may be in an area where either she's not getting service or hopefully she's saving some fish for the other for the other anglers to catch. She may be just busy with the tight lines and bent rods, if you will. But anyway, I have, of course, the one and only Captain Hook with me. Captain Hook, good morning, sir, and thank you for doing what you do.
Good morning. Should say Pam is in Jacksonville in the St. Johns River, somewhere up around in Jacksonville, and hopefully we might hear from her. We'll see.
Yeah, she might. Again, she might be in an area where reception isn't all that great.
Right.
But do wish you well if you can hear us, Pam. Wish you save a couple of fish for the other people.
Right.
It is really amazing. Some of the stuff that she has, some of the pictures that she sent me. The one that I always speak of, that it just struck me so, it just made such an impression upon me, is the one particular one she sent me was with her and a sailfish. And this thing is got to be at least as long as the little kayak that she's in. Since she tells me, I think it's 13 feet if I remember.
Right.
13 feet long. Well, this thing, realistically, this thing was probably 8 or 9 feet long. It was big. It was pretty big. And she got this big smile on her face and this big head, and she's holding on to the beak of this thing. It's quite an impressive sight to see.
Mm-hmm. And we have a mystery caller calling in, it looks like.
Mystery caller.
Yeah.
And welcome, mystery caller. Who might you be?
Yeah.
Hello, this is Victoria Brinkley.
Hello,
Ooh,
Victoria.
Victoria. Good morning, Victoria. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Those of you who are not familiar with Victoria, Victoria is the one who started the app, the Fish Florida app, which is, by the way, available at any of the major outlets, and it is a free download. She's the founder of the Fish Florida app, and from the Fish Florida app, we came with the Fish Florida show. And of course, you can always listen to the show on the app. Again, free download. Thank you for doing what you do there, Victoria. That was, without you, we wouldn't be here.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure, and I'm very proud of how the show is unfolding and the great guests that you have on the show. It's very informative and entertaining. You guys are a great, you guys couple together well with, what you both do, and it's really exciting.
Any news on the fishing fronts?
Well, I can tell you that, we're really involved in several projects for Fish Florida initiatives and the media partners. I don't know if everybody knows this, but the whole year I've been kind of looking for affiliations with TV channels to promote a shopping platform, because we actually, between all of the advertisers and media partners we have thousands of products. So I was just, wanting to put together a shopping platform. So as I was kind of making deals with TV channels, we came along with a guy that was so wonderful. And I asked him, I said, well, can we put all these channels and make a network? So now we actually have a television network. It's an OTT network. We just recently made a partnership with an advertising and marketing firm that will be supporting us and supporting the shows and programs that we have to find great synergies with advertising partners. So we're really, really excited. We have so many things going on with other partnerships that we're creating. It's just it's sort of when you're aligned with your purpose, all the right doors starts to open up.
Hot dog. Sounds exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But over here where we're at, it's very, it's kind of overcast. It's nice out. As you know, we're Scala, we live right on the water.
Yeah.
So, we're actually right across from the inlet, that leads to the ocean.
Yeah,
so
it looks, oh, I see. Yeah, there is just a few very, very small showers, but it looks relatively clear otherwise.
Yep. And, so we're just really excited of how things are progressing. I recently had a meeting with the Marine Association, looking hopefully to do some kind of a partnership down the road, with them, to see how we could shake that out. But there's a lot of great events coming up, great boat shows and things like that we'd like to be affiliated with as well.
Any boat shows here in West Palm Beach coming up real quick?
Well, we have, the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show comes up first, and then they have the Palm Beach Boat Show. I think they have, I'm not sure of the dates, but I know that in Tampa they usually have an annual boat show. But there's lots of great events like the one you guys were just talking about. It sounds really exciting what they're doing and all their initiatives with the CCA. So those are just some really great things that we're doing here in the fishing industry, and it's great that everybody's kind of pitching in together to better and keep everything clean in our oceans, and to help out where everybody can help out and be mindful of how important that is.
Yeah, well, everybody wins. That's the kind of thing I like, where everybody wins. And those are the kind of deals I try to do, where both sides win. Well, thank you, Victoria. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to share with us the update on the networks and what's going on. I wish you well. Enjoy the rest of your day.
And thank you very much for having me on, and God bless you guys.
Thank you. God bless.
You too.
Okay.
That is Victoria Brinkley. She's with I think the latest is the Brinkley Broadcast Group. She'll probably correct me right after I get off the show, but I think that's one of them. She's also founder of the Fish Florida app, and of course the Fish Florida show came from the app. Again, you can download the app anytime. It's free. If you don't want to do anything like that, you've got a phone that has unlimited time on it. Thanks to the LNM network, you can actually call in and listen. It's 701-719-9704. Now, I got to be clear about this. You can only hear us during the morning hours while we are live. You will not be able to hear the repeat shows this way, because we're not on their network at that time. They're kind enough to share the morning slot with us, and that is why we're able to do that. 701-719-9704. Anytime that we are live, you can hear us there. Otherwise, you'll have to go to fishfloatershow.com, where you'll find the archives, or you can listen to the repeat shows on WDBFradio.com and fishfloatershow.com as well. We repeat the show at 3 p.m. and we repeat the show at 4 a.m. Again, you're not going to be able to hear them using that number. Please bear that in mind. The number is strictly while we are live, and my thanks to those over at LNM for allowing me to do that. Greatly appreciate it. So you got you know what? I don't want to kind of burst this on you, but I want to say thank God that you're all right, Captain Hook. Captain Hook was involved in a very serious accident this last week, and was able to walk away. I sent me pictures of it, and it was quite scary. Thank God that you're all right.
Yeah, that was a scary one, and I keep reliving it. But still got some damage, got some injuries, and some I'm going to have to take care of for the next few weeks. So, but I'm for the most part I'm okay. But it's a little bit of head injury, serious concussion, and so anyway, we'll be having a CAT scan done this week. And when I told my ex-wife, I told her I had to go have my head examined. She goes, it's about time.
I saw that coming.
Yeah, really.
I have this picture in my mind. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being silly, but I have this picture in my mind. They're telling me about the pole and the platform, or the deer stand, if you will, out there in the middle of the bay. Nobody around. Honestly, I don't know what I would think to myself if I was cruising, on my way out or something. I've never seen that. Have you ever seen that?
No, I've heard about it, but we're gonna have to go over and get that picture because it's on the Florida Fisherman magazine. I think it's on the front page. That's right. So we're gonna have to get that and put it over on our website just so so people. It's just something different. You know what I mean?
I guess you would have to have a lot of trust in whoever it was that took you out there.
I know, that was he said, but it's in shallow enough water where you can just walk out to it. It's like on a sandbar or something.
Different. Yeah. I don't know. In my mind, I remember days going out of Key Biscayne down out of the Miami area, and there's I don't know if it's still out there. There was a small community out there called Stiltsville.
Yeah.
These houses that are literally built in the bay. There's no way to get to them other than a boat that I'm aware of. And then maybe swim, if you can swim that far, but it's quite a ways out there.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, in my mind, where these houses are, they're quite a ways out there, even though they're on sandbars. They are in shallow water, maybe 10, 15 feet of water at the most. But that's what I'm seeing in my mind. I'm seeing somebody on this platform, something like that out there where Stilson, they're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So again, I guess, if you're able to walk back, then it wouldn't be too bad. But do they take it on a boat? Do you know? Is something you put on a boat and go out and?
No. You walk out there and it's like.
Okay.
It's like. It's like on the flats.
Different picture in my mind. I thought you put this thing on a boat and you go out to the sandbar or something and you stick it down in the sand and the boat takes off and you fish.
That's right. Well, it'd be like having a tower where you could really, your visibility would be awesome. If you sit about 10 feet up in the air, you'd have a good view of what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was something you physically carried out. So you're no matter what, you can get back to shore. It's not that kind of thing where you're going to be trapped out there.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. Like they take you out somewhere, like again, like I described down in Miami. The bay out there is, my goodness, the bay out there in a lot of places is only a couple of feet deep. You got to be very careful.
Right.
You would think that the bay would be deeper than that, but it's not. And so that's what I was thinking, that they take you out to somewhere like that, a couple of feet deep. You set this thing up and they leave, and then they come back later, hopefully. They come back. That's
really?
why I was laughing. That's why I said, oh my God, that's wicked.
I know. What if a storm comes up? I mean, you just
yeah. Or don't, whoever it is that takes you out there, my gosh, don't upset them.
Yeah. Don't get in an argument with somebody before they take you out there, leave you.
I don't know why. That's just a picture that came to mind. All right. Well, it looks like we're up against the break. We'll take it a couple of seconds early. Please don't go away. It is the Fish Florida Show, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
We can make it turn a half. I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It calls me a grouper. So fishing and blowing on.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskalla Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riskalla Stevens.
Okay, we are back. Thank you so much for taking time with us this morning and every morning, every Sunday morning, from 8 to 10 a.m. We are here on the WDBF radio network, and you can find us live 8 to 10. We replay the show at 3 p.m. We also replay the show at 4 a.m. The shows are also archived. You can find them at fishfloridashow.com. You can also find them on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, which is the Fish Florida Show. And usually I have Pam Worth, who is one of the top female kayak anglers in Florida, with me. She's out there on the water somewhere. I sent her a text. I haven't heard back from her. She'll check in sometime during the day with me, and we'll share that with you next week. In the meantime, I have, of course, the one and only Captain Hook, who is also my producer and does all of the magic that happens in the background. Thank you so very much.
Oh, right. My pleasure. This is always a good time on Sunday mornings.
Well, you had nothing better to do, right?
Oh, well, it's other than sleep or go fishing.
Well, I'm just hanging out, not a whole lot going on. Well, anyway, I do appreciate it, and I always learn when I do the show. It's one of the things I enjoy. I don't pretend to be somebody who's a professional, knows it all. I'm not embarrassed to tell you that today's the first day I ever heard of anything like we talked about this platform. That's why when you guys first mentioned it, that's why I broke out in that laugh, I said that's wicked and started laughing, because in my mind I thought that you literally take this thing out on a boat and you place it down and then somebody leaves and they come back to get you later. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, that I don't know. If I was out, cruising on my way out or something and saw somebody out in the middle of the bay, like I described in Key Biscayne, I don't know what to think of that. It's crazy enough to see homes out there. We got actually, I don't know, do you know if there's anybody actually still living out there?
No. It got destroyed when the Hurricane Andrew came through.
Oh, it did?
Yep. And they wouldn't let anybody else. I think the last person that was living out there, I think about 5 years ago, that the city wouldn't give them any more permits to rebuild out there, and they said that was the end of it.
You know what? Now that you mention that, I do vaguely remember something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have Alzheimer's. It's not Alzheimer's yet. It's just halfway there. I'm halfway there.
Right. Well, we all got a little touch of it.
It is kind of an unusual thing. If you're not accustomed to, you're out traveling in the bay, you're on your way out to the ocean, and down there, it's a little longer. It's a little shorter up here where I'm at. It's a little longer trip to get out. But, and you're on your way out, and one of the channels is literally between these houses. It's like driving between, in a residential area, except you're in the bay, and you're looking at houses literally built on water. It was pretty awesome sight. It's too bad that I can understand there's probably some kind of, destruction going on or damage going on to the environment with them being there. So I can imagine that's probably why they didn't want anybody rebuilding out there.
Right.
Hurricane Andrew was a heck of a deal too. I don't know if I told you, but I was in Hurricane Andrew.
Yeah, so was I.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Well, I was living in Fort Lauderdale at the time.
Yeah. So. Well, now I want to clarify. When I shouldn't have said I was in Hurricane Andrew. My home was destroyed by Hurricane Andrew. I was fortunate enough not to be there at the time. But, I lived in the area that got the whole neighborhood gone.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, you go down to Bill Baggs State Park there on the Key Biscayne, and they used to have all these Australian pines that were all over the place. There wasn't one tree left on that park. Not one.
I've spent most of my life here in Florida. I remember the storms growing up here in Florida. Donna was the one that just comes to mind. I don't know how numbers of others. Never seen anything like that. Never seen anything. And while we're on the subject, as I'm waiting for the next guest to call in, hopefully they'll call in a moment here, I've never seen anything like this. Now I can't even remember the name of the storm that came through on your side of the state where the entire bay got drained out.
Yeah, that was last year in Hurricane Irma. And now, and it's funny you mention that, because the gentleman, Captain Neal, we had on before about going out and picking up all the old crab traps. Over in the Channel Side area around Davis Island, all the water was gone, and all you could see was the junk that was laying on the bottom, and there were crab traps all over the place.
Wow, amazing. Had you ever seen anything like that?
No. And everybody was afraid of a tsunami, but they literally had people walking across Channelside over to Davis Island.
People walking across the bay to these little islands that I guess normally you'd have to have a boat to go over there. They're walking across the bay. Do you know how long it took for it for that to happen?
It was about 45 minutes.
Wow.
And it all got sucked out by and everybody was afraid that just as fast as it went out, it was going to come back in, but it didn't. We were fortunate.
And you know, always when I hear about these storms, I hear the storm surge. You know, for those of us who have lived in Florida any degree of time and had any information on these storms, one of the things that you hear constantly, storm surge. That's a wall of water that comes in with the storm. It's to have the water sucked out. It's like backwards. So that was really, really weird.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I believe we have Jason on the phone with us.
All right. Well, Jason, are you there? If you are, good morning and welcome to the Fish Florida Show.
I am doing wonderful. Good morning to you guys. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. How's the fishing down in the Keys?
Fishing's been good. Weather's been hot. Really hot.
Yeah.
So, I haven't been getting out there too much, but we've still got some groupers down here, still got some mahi running. We did catch a couple of wahoo the other day, so the fish are still here. They haven't left yet.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'll be down your way hopefully in a couple of weeks. We're supposed to go down to Isla Mirada. It's still tentative at this point, but hopefully it'll hold out until we get down there. We want to do a little bit of fishing down in that area. And it looks like I looked at the radar a little while ago. It looks like it's relatively clear. Is it relatively clear down there where you're at?
Yeah, right now the weather is actually really beautiful. From where I'm at my house, I'm a little secluded, so I'd say we probably got 10 or 12 mile an hour winds right now, but it's got clear skies and beautiful.
Jason, where are you located?
What a great day to get out on the water.
Where are you located? Are you in Big Pine? Where are you?
Yes, sir. Okay. We are in Big Pine.
All right, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Right in the middle.
There's a great pizza place down there, the No Name Pub, you know?
The No Name Pub, yes, sir. They have great pizza.
Where do you want to go eat? I want to go eat at pizza. What pizza you want to go to? Oh, no name. What name? No name. Yeah. What are you talking about? It sounds like the Who's on First thing, you know, many years ago.
Yeah, right.
Mom was feeling my age. So Jason, tell me a little bit about what you do.
Well, we do, themetaledge.com is the name of the business. We do pretty much everything out of metal. So I make, wall hangings out of fish, suns, dogs, deer, pretty much, we like to tell people our limitation is your imagination. We also do beautiful fishing tournament trophies where we take our beautiful pieces of metal artwork and mount them in a really nice, beautiful piece of red cedar and do a beautiful, glossy polyurethane finish on that. And then we also add whatever plaques that the particular client would like. The fishing tournament trophies, first, second, third, we put those plaques on for you. We do not make the plaques, but we do put them on for you, once the trophy is completed before it's shipped out. So, anybody out there has a son or a daughter who went fishing and caught their first fish, give us a call. We can make you a wall mount, a standing mount, or just a nice piece of art for your child for their first fish.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Other than that,
that's fantastic. I remember my dad did that for me. My first fish I caught was a Jack Crevalle, and he had it mounted on a plaque with the date and all that sort of stuff. I cherish that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I have a client right now that just took her family, her 2 young children out to the Bahamas somewhere, and they went fishing, and they caught a whole bunch of their first-time fish. So I have an order for a grouper, a snapper, a shark, a couple different fish and it's all the fish that the kids never caught before. So they'll have those fish forever on their wall, and they'll never forget that family memory.
That's great. And you make all these fish out of metal?
Yes, sir. We do everything out of aluminum. Yep. We cut it all with a plasma torch. We do all the finish work with grinders, with handheld grinders. We try to give it a nice, almost 3D holographic finish the way we do with the grinder. I do long swooping swirls. So when the particular different lights hit it, it picks up different colors. It really pops off the wall, the way we do the finish work with the grinders. And like I said, everything's out of aluminum, so it can go in or outdoors. It's not going to rust. Stay nice and beautiful forever.
Uh-huh. And so it's excuse me there, I got tripped up. You had, so you have it's like a shiny type finish that'll be on it. And then do you
it's a polished aluminum finish.
Polished aluminum, yeah. Like an old World War II aircraft that they used to polish everything.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
We actually use the aluminum we use is just below aircraft grade aluminum.
I gotcha.
So it's going to withstand the test of time. I've got some clients that went through the hurricane down here, and their art is still hanging up on their porch after the hurricane. So we like to tell people it's hurricane proof as well.
Yeah, that's a good test. Very good test.
Yes, it is. It's a very, very good test.
So,
and if for any reason it gets blown off the wall or ripped off the wall and damaged, all you got to do is give us a call. We'll give you the address. You send the piece of art back, and we'll fix it for you for free.
Good deal.
Then we'll send it right back to you. And in doing that, I've probably done that once in 10 years. So that's another testament of how our art stands up to the time.
That's right. That's some durable stuff you've got there. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And you're on the web. I think you've mentioned the website with themetaledge.com.
Yes, sir. It's themetaledge.com, or you can give us a call at 917-577-8495. That's 917-577-8495.
Great.
Jason, how long has this been going on? How long have you been doing this kind of thing?
We've been doing it for about 10 years now. A little bit over 10 years now. We've been doing it down here in the Keys. It fits right in with where we live.
Yeah.
I was mentioning earlier that how appreciative I am of people who have a skill, because we don't have a lot of that anymore. Whether I was particularly speaking with a gentleman, I don't know if you're listening, his name is Peter. He makes handmade lures, and was mentioning how we don't have skilled people like we used to as I was growing up. So, people were skilled in a wide variety of areas, anything from art to construction. And I don't see a lot of that, and I do see people telling us that we do need, this is an area that we do need people desperately, people who have some kind of a skill of some sort. And it's always amazed me, particularly people who are an artist's kind of mind. I have one of my kids was phenomenal in artistry. He took a pencil and drew a picture, and when he was done, of course it took him quite some time, but when he was done, it literally looked like a black and white picture. So that's amazing to me. Take it out of your mind and bring it and make it physical. And this is something you guys do, and you do it with something that's not that easy. Metal is, from the last time I checked, is not that easy to just take something and pound it out. It takes some craftsmanship. It takes some skill on how to handle it and make sure that it lasts. And your testimony says that it has been proven that it lasts for quite some time. How many hurricanes have you
so
in
far?
The last 10
so
years?
far, 2.
Yeah.
Well,
we haven't had that many in the last 10 years. So knock on wood. We've been lucky. But yeah, you're right. The world of the skilled tradesman is definitely going away. And something that we like to keep alive is the barter system. Nobody barters anymore. Wow. If you have a service that I want and I have a particular sculpture that you want, I am 100% happy to do a barter.
Wow.
That old school barter system can go a long ways, and it's a shame to see all that all that tradition start to fade away. So we like to keep it alive a little bit.
I'd love to see that come back. I would love to see that come back.
It makes life a lot easier.
Yep.
And both sides win. Both sides. Those
Yes,
are the best
both
deals.
sides.
Both sides win.
Exactly.
And, I was speaking earlier about how we're the cleaning up of the water. Everybody wins. Why wouldn't you want to support that?
Absolutely.
This is right along the same line. Bartering is something that I think people have been kind of conditioned, if you will, to frown upon for whatever reason.
Yes, I agree with you.
the reality of it is truly a free way to do something. You're free from all of the government guidelines and the demands that the government wants from you. If Jason and I trade back and forth and it is basically of equal value, we decide that it's of equal value, then it's between him and I. There's no sales tax. There's none of this other nonsense that we have to deal with. We don't have to report the sale. It's none of that. Again, it's just part of being free. It's part of the enjoyment of living in this country. And for whatever reason, I believe it has been looked down upon. It's really something not to look down, something to look up to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the government looks down upon it and has conditioned everybody to look down upon it, because if I trade you a piece of art for whatever that you have, now the government doesn't get their taxes.
Right,
so,
right.
It is what it is, but hundreds of years ago, everybody traded for everything. If I needed a piece of meat and you had a piece of bread, and that's how it got done. So, just anybody ever needs a piece of art, we love to go fishing, we do hunting, everything. I'm willing to trade for anything. So it's keep that old tradition alive down here in the Keys.
Well, thank you, Jason. I'm all out of town. God bless you, my friend. Be well. Enjoy your Sunday. Jason Labarez with theMetalEdge.com. We will be back in a week. Thank you for listening.